Hey, ladies. Oh my gosh, y'all are so cute.
We have been in here having dynamic conversations all day. This is being filmed for my podcast.
Amazing.
The episode, the name of my podcast is a Secret Recipe Podcast, and we have Rasheeda here for another amazing episode. And I really want to just understand, like with my podcast, I really want to understand what is your secret recipe? And I think I've seen you in so many elements. Like when I was a music artist,
Okay, yes.
I was like, I remember I was about to get signed to this label, and they were like, I came to Atlanta too, and they were like, well, I mean, what's your music style? Because we already have Rasheeda. I'm like, well, I'm from Ohio, so
Period.
I was like, this is hard out here. But how have you been able to navigate all of the different industries so seamlessly? Like you have Pressed, you have Frost Bistro, you have what else do you do?
I'm a mom.
A mom.
That's the main thing.
For sure.
Okay, a mom, a wife, entrepreneur, of course, television with Love and Hip Hop, and my show, which is on Philo, a streaming app called Boss Moves. And you know what, y'all, honestly speaking, and I tell people this all the time, I don't have like a real answer for the fact that I'm a work in progress. And the main thing I do tell people though is it's about like discipline and understanding like when it's time to play and when it's time to get down to real business. And in order to be successful in anything you do, you have to put forth a real effort. Like in this day and age, a lot of people look at things and they're like, oh, I saw that on Instagram and I'm gonna do that. And they try for a month and be like, ain't nothing happened, so I'm done. Like, no, boo-boo. That ain't how that work. So I always tell people all the time when they come and they ask me like, how do I do it? How do I keep it together? You have to like figure out somewhat of a balance. And sometimes I don't like to use that word neither because every day it's something different in life that goes on. You know what I'm saying? You never know what could happen and can throw your day off, can throw your life off for a while. But if you put yourself on a schedule as much as you can when it comes to being an entrepreneur, I always tell people, did you all ever work a job like a 9 to 5? Okay. You had to have your ass at work at 9, right, on time, or you're getting written up and all that. Treat your business just like you treat somebody else's business that was paying you your paycheck. And that's really kind of like how the format goes. I mean, my husband, he's here. He's back there somewhere around here. Kirk's here. And we work together on trying to keep each other focused on the things that are important because it's so easy to get distracted. So honestly, it's just focusing, being disciplined, being diligent, and making sure that you go hard for yourself, harder than you would go for anybody or anything else.
Yes. And how do you manage, I know you have a lovely team, I'm sure. How are you managing the time between Pressed and Frost Bistro? And do you feel sometimes pulled between like, oh my God, Pressed needs images to make the business grow, and being the face of the business? Yes. Is that tough as well?
Yeah, I be falling all off the map, y'all. And I should have been telling myself that. But what I would say is, I have to like figure it out. I have to say, okay, like we literally sit down and say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is this, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is this. I got to film Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that means I got to be up at this time. I got to do this. I mean, it's just the real deal. I mean, it's like the paper to the pen type of thing. Like write it down, get yourself on a schedule, set reminders in your phone, and really do it because we can easily be doing something, look at Instagram, look at social media. You'll look up an hour done went by. You late, ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. So that's the main thing about the focus. So I try to have somewhat of a schedule to make sure, okay, these are the things. On Mondays, we have certain things that we do for the businesses. That's an admin day. On Tuesdays, it's a such and such day. On Wednesdays. So that's the easiest way to do it is to put yourself on a schedule, but you have to stick with it. Stick with it and watch how your results come if you figure out a format.
Yes, clap it up for that.
Thank you.
How has it been running businesses with your partner? I remember when me and Zoe first started our Airbnb business, we had one location in New York, and it was good. It was balancing it out. Okay, cool. Then we had 2. Then we had 3. Then somehow, last year, we had 98 Airbnb units, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and my God.
Yeah,
really?
All in Atlanta. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh,
great.
We did. It's okay.
Sorry,
We did. And I realized that like my dream and my love is for marketing. Like I love marketing. I think about it. I sleep. I'm not thinking about this. Did somebody break the table? Did the cleaner?
Right.
And he felt that though. Like he's like, I mean, we splitting this, but I'm really doing everything. And I'm like, I mean, but it was kind of my concept, and it was the one Airbnb that got us to this. Right. And like, I really had to really truly think about, hey, every single dollar that comes into his pocket is coming into my household. So why do I need to be a part of this? True. If honestly, the conversation that we are having is stressing me out too, and I would rather be doing marketing, right? So I felt like that challenge of my husband's an interior designer. He's very detail oriented. I walk in, I'm like, yep, the cleaners came, it's clean. He's like, did you not see the string? Oh my God, the toilet. I'm like, babe. He's like, well, you can't be doing it's a lot of people can't work with their partners, and I feel like you guys have been doing it for so long. What is the secret recipe to building businesses with your lifetime partner?
Honestly, with us, we bump heads, yes, but we had to learn when to turn it off. And this year in December, will be 23 years married. Oh Lord, long time. So we had to like get to this place to where we're like, okay. After a while, it's like, shut it down, let it go. We deal with business. We literally sit at the table and go over all of our business stuff on the days that we have allowed it. See, get yourself on schedule. On the days that we have allowed it. But it is very, very difficult. One thing I will say, I'm reverting back to what you were saying, but one thing about me and my husband is we only do things that are of us that we enjoy and will put our all into. I don't need to have 100 million businesses because it sounds good to have them. I want quality over quantity. And that was our main thing in 2023, what we said, and that's one reason why if you've ever been to Frost Bistro, we used to be a lounge, which was like nightlife, all 2, 3 o'clock in the morning type of situation, to now we've totally converted to breakfast and brunch because that fits our life. And sometimes it was scary, okay, being honest. You know, Kurt was like, man, listen, we need to change. We got to do something different. And this was an argument back and forth of us trying to figure out, you know, we need to pivot with this whole restaurant situation. And I was scared. And I was the one like, no. How are we going to convert the people from being at night and being a lounge to now we open at 9 o'clock in the morning, you know? And he was like, we're going to step out on faith and we're going to put a plan together. And that's what I love about my partner is if I'm in doubt, he's in ups. If I'm in ups, or you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Like that. But there's times where we both don't know, and we say, hey, how much does this mean to us? Okay, let's step out here and just go for it because, you know, we won't know until we try. So that's really like the main thing. Like I was saying, in 2023, we wanted to make sure it was quality over quantity and not just doing a bunch of stuff and making things align up. So now we're to the point to where our restaurant, Tuesday through Friday, it closes at 4 o'clock. That gives me mommy time. Yeah. That gives me time to do homework, gives me time to still work at Pressed, do all the things that needs to happen. And sometimes you have to look at your scope of what you're doing and get an alignment so that you're able to give your best self to your businesses, but also be a homegirl and go to brunch and kick it with your friends and still have that life, but know that when it's time to go hard, you're going hard. Mm-hmm. 23
years. First of all, 23 years and 23. Oh, that's a thing, right?
Ew.
Yes. Y'all gotta do something special.
We do.
So many networks have reached out to me and Zoe to be on every show
I'm sure.
possible, right?
I'm sure.
And I don't really feel like that's me. I'm privately, I could be very introverted, and I really love what we built, and I don't feel like I want to hear from everybody's opinion on what I think my husband, how good he is to me and how bad and he said this and like, Lord, I don't even think I'm built for that, right? Mm-hmm. And at one point in time, your relationship was on every blog, every media network, every outlet, and every Instagram relationship coach was telling you what to do.
Right.
And what you should leave and how you should stay and how you should handle it. How were you able to stay and listen to all of the naysayers and be here 23 years? Because that is so inspiring to me.
Oh, my goodness. One thing I will say is you're right. Sometimes, like reality television and stuff like that, it's not for everybody. If you don't feel it in your spirit, don't do it. Yeah. Honestly, only God was able to lead me through my ups and downs in my relationship. There was no one who I was able to talk to who I guess would say got through to me in a sense. Only the Lord. And things are very difficult when you have, like, at that time, Love and Hip Hop was like 8 million people watching. And listen, it is crazy. And a lot weighs on you. But in that process, I was able to, through a downtime in my life, become more secure with myself. I know that might sound a little bit weird, but I did a lot of praying and a lot of just trying to figure things out. And I spent a lot of time by myself just because sometimes a lot of things around you are distractions and want to lead you in a direction that's not of you. And that I had to learn within that process. So, yes, a lot of people say, you this, you that, you that, you this. But a lot of people haven't been married for 20-some years and, don't understand the dynamic. And also with that, not to take up for you, but... But
it's a women's conference.
It's a women's conference. Being married and in a relationship so long, you go through so much. There's times when y'all ain't clicking, And yes, things happen, and not to condone anything that either party does, but you have to face the realities of that as well because there's two people in a relationship. And you have to understand your position, their position, and the position y'all are in at a time. And more than anything, everybody makes mistakes in life. Whether it's something big, something small, everybody has a breaking point. At one time, I thought that was my breaking point, but the Lord showed me different. He leading me in another direction, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Ever since, Kirk and I's bond has been so strong. And I tell people all the time, because honestly speaking, I never knew so many people could relate until it happened to me. And I have people coming up to me from everywhere, all over the world, just talking to me about their relationships and stuff. And, oh, my God, I've been through this, I've been through that. But sometimes it takes certain things to happen in order for your relationship to go into another season, whether it's a season of staying together, loving each other, and making it through, or it may be a season of realizing, it's time to cut this thing off, So at the end of the day, I had to sit back and receive what I was supposed to receive, and I'm still here. We still together.
It's super inspiring because I think that the Instagram makes everything look perfect.
Yeah,
in that time when you were going through that, did it make you want to leave the show, or did it make you want to stop displaying your relationship for the world? Were you ever worried about so much? I mean, I don't watch TV, right. So I really only got the whatever is the blog version. Right, yeah. I don't got the episode version. I don't know how many seasons it went on for. But did it ever cause you? Because I think there was one time where some girl kept commenting. Well, I'm soft, right? But I'm really a thug. Inside of me, I'm really a thug. And this girl kept commenting on my husband's Instagram. I'm commenting. Okay, cool. I was like, who is this girl? And he was like. Right. I don't know. And Zoe, one thing I know is Zoe's so close with God. So he's like, I don't know. Okay, cool. But I have your Instagram password. So she was like, oh, you should come to my job for lunch. Great. I love food. We should go. So my husband didn't know. My husband didn't know that she invited us to lunch.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah. And so we went, right?
Uh-huh.
And we were able to convert her to his course, which is what she said she wanted. Mm-hmm. But yeah, thank you for lunch. Lovely. I really appreciate the lunch.
love it.
And he was very surprised that we were at a young lady's job eating on her.
Oh, wow.
But she invited us because we're
Right.
married, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's a package. It's a whole package.
But with that experience, it kind of made me go into a mode of like, for 6 years, my husband wasn't on the internet. Right? Like for 6 years, y'all, like he was always like Skittles' husband or, oh, I know Zoe, but not that much. Now when I walk in rooms, I'm Zoe's wife. Period. And I'm like, whoa, okay. That was a little shift for me to be like, okay, wow, the internet is so bold.
Oh, yes.
And I've never experienced that before because, like, where they gonna send him a letter? Like,
right.
He wasn't on the internet.
Right.
So, like, y'all would have to see him with me somewhere outside. How was that for you? Did you ever experience a moment where you're like, yeah, this is too much. Like, this is my life being broadcasted on TV, and it's affecting my children and my parents and the people around me that genuinely love me.
Honestly speaking, I'm going to have to say no. And the reason why I say that is because anytime you step into something that's going to put you out there, you got to be prepared for it. And more than anything, know that with the good of being on a huge platform like Love and Hip Hop, you're going to have to deal with the bad. It's just about how you prepare yourself for it. So when it comes to us, how we going to be on reality TV going through something and it's not out there? I feel like sometimes people don't understand that even though my problems, the things that are weighing on me, may actually be therapy to other people. Mm-hmm. And that's how I always look at the situations. Somebody's always going through something in their life. And we signed up for what we signed up for. So I'm not going to run when shit get rough. You stick through it, you walk through it, and you just let things happen like they happen. Now, I try to live without regret because I always think about, like, you know, although this happened, for an example, this happened in our life on Love and Hip Hop, but I also have these amazing things that happen as well. So you can't have day without night. You can't have good without bad. You get it? When it comes to your family and your friends, well, let me say this. When it comes to our children, as parents, it's our responsibility to communicate. And with our kids, it's a choice. Is this something that you want to be a part of? You don't have to. I don't want my kids doing nothing they don't want to do. But it's also about communicating with them and saying, hey, mommy and daddy do this job. We do this, 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 and this. You may have to deal with this, that, this, and the third. And it's just about communicating and pouring into them and letting them know how and what to do and how to maneuver. And that's the bigger part of it. Other than that, y'all, for real, regardless of everything that's happened, is 11 years now on the show. Is it 11?
Wow.
12 years. I don't regret anything, honestly, even looking stupid and all that. It don't even matter, you know, because you grow from that. You grow from everything. I look at everything that happens, and to a certain extent, I sit back and I say, okay, Lord, what's the T? What I'm supposed to learn, what I'm supposed to know, what I'm supposed to do, you know? And I just look at things in that manner.
I think some women in your situation struggle with taking accountability and knowing, like, oh, I went through this situation, but it made me a better wife, or it made me a better business owner, it made me more aware. Do you take accountability, and did it make you better?
I definitely take accountability, and I have a problem with people who don't. Like, I'll be like, what is wrong with you? Just keep it a thou wow, like, for real. You know, seriously, because it's lessons to be learned. I don't know everything. I'm never going to know everything. I ain't going to make the right decisions. I'm not always right. I be wrong. I do the wrong thing. I do the right thing. That's what life is. You learn from your mistakes. You keep it pushing, like, period. And yes, you have to take accountability so that you can learn and understand, you know, how to move, what's right, how to be better. You know, you can't be perfect. Like, girl, bye. Mm-mm.
Switching gears, what is the biggest lesson you learned from business? Like partnerships or investing, or has there been a moment where you were like, okay, God, you gave me this lesson, like, it's the most expensive lesson maybe you have ever had?
One of my things I would say is, when it comes to business, you cannot be afraid to fail, in a sense. And I say this because sometimes we think we know exactly what to do. And then all of these like roadblocks come in our way and, certain doors close. In actuality, sometimes we be in our own way of the doors that's supposed to open for us. So with that being said, I try to, when it comes to business, I don't trust people easily. You have to be mindful of who's in your space and who's around you. You want to have good spirits around you as much as possible. Everybody's intention isn't good, but as a business owner, you have to know that everybody's not going to go hard for your business like you are. Know that in your head. So don't expect for other people to, go above and beyond all the time. But when you do find those correct people, treat them well and take care of them and grow together. What you ask me?
What was the biggest lesson?
Oh, biggest lesson. What was one of the biggest lessons? Because we do everything together all the time, y'all. And I'm the one who be forgetting stuff. What? Huh? Like what? Give me one. I know something. Well, it's a lot, but don't be scared in business to pivot. And that's the real deal. Because one thing I will say is just like, okay, let me give y'all a big old example. COVID. COVID came, hit our ass. We didn't know what the hell was going on. We was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? That was a time where everybody had to figure out how I'm finna pay these bills, right? Yep. Everybody was pivoting, figuring it out. Well, pull COVID out of the equation and then keep that same energy. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when it comes to business, we have to understand how to make changes. It may not always be right at first. We may have to do some homework, some research, try to figure it out, try to wonder, oh Lord, is it gonna work? But you gotta give it a chance, try and stay up on top of your game. And that's what us, like, I had a store in Houston, I closed it. Am I ashamed of it? No. You know why? Because it was time to be gone. I had to be realistic. And let's keep that in mind too. Be realistic. When certain things ain't falling right and you know you didn't try it, let that thing go. And that's what we ended up having to do. We made a pivot with our restaurant saying, okay, let's give it a try. If we don't try, we don't know. So I think the main thing when it comes to like business is, be open to pivot, make change, don't be scared, and step out on faith, y'all. And I'm going to say it 50 times, but it's the truth.
You mentioned in the beginning that you are a mom.
Yes.
And so many of my audience and Girl My members are moms, and they have a really hard time juggling it. And I ain't gonna lie, when I had my daughter, I thought I'm a super entrepreneur. Like, I got this. Becoming a new mom, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't got this, Lord. Give me a sign. I was joining Facebook groups. I was like, I don't know what postpartum is, but I feel really depressed. I don't know.
Yes.
Like, I was going through it. And, I was able to bounce back. I think it's so important to talk about how you maybe give some tips on how you're able to manage being on TV while running Frost Bistro, press, and all of the other many things that you do. How do you make time to be a mom?
You know what? That's the format. That's to the forefront. It don't matter what I got going on. I'm up at 6:15 every morning, getting my baby ready for school, pulling up looking crazy, just like the rest of everybody else. It is what it is. You have to prioritize your life, your children, your family. I might slip on, I ain't cooked dinner in about 2 months, but Uber Eats is why it's in business. But, you really, like I said earlier, putting yourself, on some type of a schedule, which I still have a problem with certain things. But for the most part, y'all, we just have to figure it out. As women, especially as Black women, we are doctors, nurses, and I'm not talking about in real life. I'm talking about as a mom. You the janitor, You know, you cleaning up, you the janitor, maid slash chef slash doctor slash chauffeur slash, you know, all of that and all of the above. And you're trying to be a wife and an entrepreneur. And really, you just have to have that mentality of trying to do the best that you can possibly do. And sometimes when things get overwhelming, know it and pull yourself back and give yourself a minute to breathe, to chill, to enjoy and do something that you need for yourself. That way you give yourself that energy, that extra battery juice, and then you can go back to being a great super mom. I don't have all the answers because I'm a work in progress, like I said, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, I promise y'all, I literally, me and Kurt, we just left the kitchen of our restaurant. I went into my office, I changed my clothes, and I came here. My son is getting his hair braided, getting twists, and, you know, I'm going to pick him up, and then we're going to go home and get ready for school, and, you know, so it's just like, we just got to do it. We just got to do it.
Yes, I love that. Because that's honestly what I feel. I feel like when people say, oh, what's the perfect balance? There is no perfect balance.
It's not.
You give 100% to whatever you're going to give 100% to that day. And sometimes 100% is, mom, okay, I'm reading all the books.
Right.
I'm doing all the things. And some 100% is me, right? Like,
So true.
understanding, like showing up for me. I remember last year felt like I was showing up for everybody. And I remember one day I was packing a bag because I had to leave to go somewhere. And I just like laid back in my closet. And my 4-year-old at the time was like, Mommy, are you tired? You look tired. And that's when I was like, yeah, that's never happening again. Like, I have to show up for me. I have to make time for me. I have to make time so that she doesn't see, like, my mom is helping everyone else, but not helping herself. I don't want her to grow up like that, you know? So I think that as long as you know that you're giving your best in the moment, as long as you know that, then don't worry about the next moment. Just get through this current moment that you are in.
And keep it pushing. But you know, you did make a good, you were talking, you said something about postpartum and all that. You know, sometimes we don't even realize what that is for real. You know, I've dealt with the same thing, and I'm just like, I'm thinking, Lord, something wrong with me. You know, I'm just mad at everybody. I'm just mad. You know, but, you know, we really deal with things, and as black women, a lot of times we deal with so many things, but we have to be so strong for everybody else that we don't really realize that this is too much. You know what I'm saying? Or wait a minute, I'm about to have a breakdown, you know? So I think more now, and I've come into this more as a woman and as a mom. I had a little episode where I like passed out and had to go in the hospital. I was dehydrated and lack of oxygen to the brain type of thing. Child, I had to fell out on the floor. It was crazy, but it was stress, and that's because you always so worried about everything. I said, you know what, I ain't falling out for nobody else no more. I'm gonna make sure I get it together, you know, because it's 24 hours in the day. I'm gonna do the best that I can, and as long as I know I'm doing the best that I can, that's it. You know, it's like everybody can't expect the world from you. You can't expect it from everybody else. Do the best that we can, y'all, and keep it pushing, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be laid out somewhere and can't move around like you want to because you're so worried about everybody else. No, ma'am.
I noticed that so many girls that I work with, a lot of my clients, they go through this situation where, like, when they have it all figured out, they don't want to turn it up, right?
But let me talk to them, because how they got it all figured out? Because I don't know.
Well, the thing is, like, they may have the perfect business, the perfect brand, the perfect audience, but it take for them to go through something like a breakup or, you know, a dude leader. I gotta turn up. I gotta start the business. I gotta grow. And I've seen you consecutively, years after years, kill it, even when people would have thought that your life could have possibly been in shambles. Like, how is it that I know? I remember one day when I seen all over the blogs, you know, you were going through it, but you was at the press like, hey girl, what you need? Like, I'm like, how do you keep it all together and keep it going and don't let, like, the minor setbacks make you, I'm now a boss. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, you just consecutively kill it. Like, okay, I'm doing music. Okay, I'm starting this. Okay. Right. How have you continued that for so long?
I look at setbacks as like a setup for something. You know, like all the time. Like, you know, whenever you're going through things, I mean, honestly, I'm not the only person. Whatever you going through in your life, you ain't the only person. You know, so I keep that in my mind and say, and regardless to the fact I'm a business owner, I have responsibilities, I have things to do, and just because I'm going through it, don't mean don't show up for work. You know, at that time I was at Phipps, and you know, people come and shop with us from like all over the world. I'm going through something, yes I am, and things are down, but at the same time too, I feel like I have a responsibility as a business owner too, to still show up and lead by example and do whatever needs to be done, even when you're going through things. So when you're going through things, there's still a time and a place. If you need time for yourself, take some time. But at the same time, still don't lose yourself and forget the focus and the main goal, which is to still handle your business, still take care of your kids, still do everything that you need to do. And it took a little bit of time because, yeah, we get to these points sometime in our life where we just want to lay in the bed and close the damn curtains and don't want to do, and it's over, and eat ice cream and just be like whatever. You know, but it's like, for real, like, okay, and then how long we gonna do that? You know, because the mortgage is due, period, the light bill, and the kids is knocking on the door and all of that. So we just gotta be real with ourselves, y'all. Like, for real, we all gonna go through stuff. That's what's gonna build your character. That's what's gonna help you grow as a woman. And you gotta take it in, like I said, the good with the bad, the up with the down, the sun with the moon, the whole shebang. Where there's one, there's the other.
One thing I always think about is when you think of life, right? If you go to the doctor and they check your heart monitor, it's an up and down, right? So the moment when I feel like my life is getting flat and complacent and very just straight, right? I'm like, am I dead? I'm not dead. Like, there's going to be ups and downs. Like, when I'm up, I'm literally waiting. I'm like, all right, I know it's going to be a down period, and that's going to teach me something for me to get up again and for me to go down. So when you're in these up and down phases, think about God is giving you a pulse, so he's also giving you purpose, and he's also allowing you to go through these ups and downs because, like, y'all, when I lost my company, I'm going to keep saying this, because when I lost my company and I was on that airbed, that company, Cupcake Mafia, had only made $2.4 million. Here we are.
What is you talking about, child?
Well, not only, but I'm saying, I thought that was the max. I thought that was the capacity of what I could make. Right?
Damn.
I thought that me losing that business was losing myself, losing my life, losing my ideas, losing my passion. I thought $2.4 million was it. That's all I could possibly do, right? But God said, no, I'm just giving you more purpose. I'm reconnecting you to me. And 5 years later, you guys, my marketing agency did $16 million.
Period.
So it does not matter. Whatever you think is that lowest point in your life, he's preparing you to go higher. And so we are looking at someone that went through so much publicly. Y'all, half of us couldn't even imagine, right? Having us, I know I couldn't. I get one bad comment. I'm like, I'm taking an Instagram
like
break.
1,001 freaking great comments, and there'd be that one person, you'd be like, where's she at?
Yeah.
All right, beat her ass. What? You don't even know me. You know, but y'all have to tune that stuff out. Like, okay, don't get me wrong. There's certain times where I'd be like, okay, like, that's enough. But I've really grown to, like, totally ignore stuff. And, like, seriously, because honestly, like, people don't really, really know you. They don't really, really know your struggles. They just don't really, really know. That's just like trying to teach somebody English who don't speak English, and you stand there, like, trying to teach them, and they looking at you like, because they don't know, right? Just like the people on the other side, they don't really know. So at the end of the day, you have to build a strong skin. Yes, you do. But you have to learn when to unplug. And that even goes for just like waking up. What's a lot of times the first thing y'all do, wake up in the morning, grab your phone and get on Instagram, TikTok and stuff like that. Sometimes, but there's a lot of people who do that. You know what I mean? So the main thing is, like, to me, it's like times where, like, I don't want to be on no kind of social media platform. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to be normal. I don't care about what people are saying, and it doesn't matter to me because they don't make me. You know, I make me. So you can't tell me, you know, about me. And that's really kind of like the way you have to look at things, like, and you have to unplug sometimes, y'all, and just be like, you know what? And even, and let me say this in a sense, like sometimes you got to unplug from people too. You know, like I said earlier, that energy around you and the people, you have to be mindful. You have to be actually selective about who you let into that inner space of your life, for real. Because as we get older, we come to realize, you know, certain energies and stuff ain't for you. You know what I mean? So that's another unplug that I'm talking about too. Like, it's certain people who, you know, you got friends in boxes. You be like, okay, that's my turn-up friend. That's my friend. Don't tell her none of your business, but she fun as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So you got to get to a place where you know and understand certain things. And when you're at a certain place in your life, unplug from certain things. Yeah.
My final question is, what is your secret recipe?
To what, child?
To everything. Just is it, if you had to describe your secret recipe in one word, what would it be?
You know, my secret recipe, honestly, is staying true to myself. You know, what you see on TV is what you see here. I'm not an extra name, and it ain't a show I put on. Or, you know, I just try to be myself, be secure within myself. Y'all see these raggedy braids, and I ain't got on no makeup hardly. I look crazy. That's why I got the glasses. Put this back. But
beautiful.
Thank you. But at the same time, it's just about, you know, just being like true to myself, you know, being real, not being too hard on myself, but making sure that I try to be better than yesterday, but no, I can't do everything. And just be as real as possible and treat other people like I want to be treated. Like, I always tell people, like, you never know, the janitor might be the president. So whenever you're in certain places, you know, your relationships are important, but also the way that you treat people is important. So I feel like if I, you know, exude as much goodness, I look forward to receiving it, and I pray faithfully. I don't play about that, and that's for real. Y'all got to hear my baby. He 9. Y'all got to hear him pray. He'll come pray to death. He just pray. But I'm so glad that we've instilled that in him. You know what I mean? So I just say, you know what? Wake up every day understanding that you're beautiful, you're amazing. Things may not go your way all the time. Stay prayed up. Keep your faith in God. You know, Martin Luther King has this little quote that he say, faith is walking... What is this daggum thing? I swear I know this and be forgetting it all the damn time. Seeing the staircase, you know, something about the staircase and walking, something like that. I'm going to pull it up in a minute. But I'm going to have to send that to you so you can tell everybody what it is. But it's so true because even when you don't see the first step, it's taking that walk in faith. And I keep on repeating that because it's so important in life to do that. Step out there. Okay, I done fail. You know, people always be like, you know, Rasheeda, you started out rapping. You ain't big. You ain't famous. But guess what? I could not work today, and I'm fine because my music, regardless to me not being a super mainstream rapper, I am still an independent artist who makes money off of my music that's been placed in hella movies and television shows and all that type of stuff. So sometimes people who, they may look at certain things like, oh, she ain't did this and she ain't did that. But that's all God's word at the end of the day. And honestly, when you walk through something and you've been through things, it ain't nothing that nobody gonna be able to tell you to distract you or tell you, I walked this walk. You can't tell me what to do. I did this already. So you can walk with your head high and your chest up and your hair blowing like Beyonce at the concert, knowing that, you know, you walk the walk, you talk the talk, you keep your head up straight, you fall, you get your ass back up, and you keep on going.
Okay, now this is my last question. So I know, for real, I know you have an intimate group of girls, right? And I call them like my girl mob, right? Which is my intimate group of girls. How has your girl mob played in your life? Like having these women that are able to pour into you and talk to you about certain things. How has your girl mob played a huge part in your life?
A super significant part. It's great when you have relationships with people who you, one, know is genuine, two, know it's just like you're able to pour into each other. And it's a sense of just like love, you know what I mean? So I think it's always important to have, you know, those type of relationships and to be able to be there for each other. For one, somebody who knows you and can relate to you and can understand. But more so than anything, I'm the friend who, if they want to know the truth, they call me. Because I ain't gonna lie. Now, you might not want to hear it all the time, but I think that's what makes a good friendship. Because I'm not going to cheer you on when I know that shit ain't right. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it 1,000, like, no, boo. No. And then, but when I give that, I get that back from them as well. So I think it's important when you have your select friends of the people who you know really rock for you. Y'all got to keep it solid. Y'all got to call each other out. When it's time to call each other out, y'all got to be real with each other and don't be fake.
Yes. Did y'all love this episode? Yes, we have to do this again.
Yes, I enjoyed myself.
Thank y'all so much for watching, and check out the next episode of the Secret Recipe Podcast.